Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so we're talking about the LA Lakers and the Toronto Raptors tonight at 7:30 p.m. in Los Angeles Staples Center, Crypto.com arena, of course. And essentially, what we're talking about here is a team that is really improved since making a trade for Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett. Their team sent OG Anunoby to the Knicks and have really won pretty good. 3 out of the last 4 games since doing so, with the exception of a Kings game where Sabonis just went completely off against them, triple-double, all the fixings. But right now, you look at this situation and you say there are certain players on this team that you cannot forget about because they've made this trade. They've slipped some players into some different roles, and you got to worry about them too. A guy like Gary Trent Jr. Now he's coming off the bench for R.J. Barrett, a very dangerous player coming off the bench. Dennis Schroeder, our very own guy, very dangerous player coming off the bench behind Quickly now. So I think their team is significantly deeper by inserting those 2 players into the situation. Now the problem that they're going to run into tonight is that they're not going to have Jakob Poeltl. They're also not going to have Christian Koloko, who's been out pretty much all season with a respiratory situation. But Poeltl stepped on someone's foot, one of his own teammates' foot, rolled an ankle pretty bad in that last game, I believe, against, the Memphis Grizzlies or the Golden State Warriors, I believe it was, where they got the victory there. So, Anthony Davis, you're up, brother. It's time for you to go off real good against them, since we know Sacramento did a number on them with their big. With Poeltl on the floor, we should be able to do a number on their bid without him on the floor. And so you got to pay attention to Chris Boucher, though, however, who filled in, had 7 for 7, a bunch of threes as well in that game against the Golden State Warriors. So you don't want to take their backup big lightly, but you'd rather him not be forced to guard AD either. So that's the thing. Obviously, you're talking about Scotty Barnes. That's one of the players that you need to be very aware of on this team. I remember when he was first drafted, I was telling everybody how excited I was about him before the draft, and what his game looked like to me was somebody who could pretty much do really everything you need him to do, making plays for other people, hit the three some, defensive dynamo, could guard players much smaller than him, could score, athletic, fast. So he just has the whole 9. It's going to be a superstar one day, rookie of the year 2 years back. So if you know anything about Scotty Barnes, you know that you're going to have to deal with him on both sides of the floor. He's going to make you work, and he's strong. You also got to pay attention to Pascal Siakam, who I don't know how much longer he's going to be on this team. To be completely honest with you, they've been shopping him. He was very close to going to the Sacramento Kings a couple nights ago, but the Kings backed out of the deal because he ultimately said he wasn't going to re-sign with him. Now, he ain't going to re-sign with anybody because from what I understand, he can make much more money in the free agent market outright. So whoever's going to pick him up is just getting a rental potentially. Maybe they can win the sweepstakes in the summertime, but they're going to have as good a chance as anybody to re-sign him, and he's probably just going to go to the highest bidder. So it's going to be hard to see what ultimately he goes for, but I'm pretty sure someone will pay for him as a rental, especially if they have an expiring contract going out. So I don't know how many more games he's going to play for the Toronto Raptors, but I'd imagine this is one of the last ones. So he's going to want to make a good show for himself, especially on a big stage like this. So we need to be aware that tonight is probably a Pascal Siakam night, and we'll see what that looks like. So for us, we're coming off a victory against the Clippers, man. We felt really good about our matchup against them. We had a lot of players contribute. We didn't score a lot of points, 106 points, but we held them to 103. They stayed below 40% in both the 3 and the field. And we feel really good about this being a similar matchup with a lot of wings and a lot of players that want to shoot mid-range shots, stuff like that. Now, we did give up 3-point shots quite a bit. We know we're the worst perimeter defensive team in the league right now by the numbers. So the thing about the Toronto Raptors is that they are similar to us in the sense that they shoot only as many as they need to. They would much rather attack you on the inside. They would much rather attack you from the mid-range. So they don't really want to shoot the 3 too much in theory, but they do shoot a very good percentage when they do. So we need to be aware of that. If they up their percentage, it could be a very bad night for us. If they up their attempts, rather, it could be a very bad night for us. But given the fact that they tend to want to attack on the inside, that we might have an opportunity to be able to match up with them just like we did against the Clippers with all the wings that they have. But RJ Barrett, quickly, those are 3-point shooters, so that could change. The idea of what their team is probably has changed since inserting those two players, and we need to be aware of that to the fullest. Last time we saw those two guys against the Knicks about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, or whatever it was, they were the two that ultimately took us down with big games, respectively. So I don't think that they're coming in with any short of confidence against these Los Angeles Lakers tonight. So, this is going to be a pretty interesting game, man. We talked a lot about Darvin Ham and what his prospects for keeping this job could look like. Many were saying if we lost the Clipper game, he could lose his job. I don't imagine that us beating the Clippers has really changed that, to be honest with you. And this could be a situation where our team comes out flat, and then we are talking about that type of thing at the end of this one. But hopefully this can be the beginning of a good momentum stretch for our team. Obviously, we're at home. For those who've been following, the Lakers are going to be home pretty much all month long after a nice road trip to end the year that had us going up against some of the toughest teams we could find. But at this point, we're still going up against tough teams, but at least it'll be in our building a good portion, very good portion of the time. So, yeah, Toronto Raptors, man, they're going to be wearing their red uniforms tonight. We're going to have our black city uniforms on, some of my favorite uniforms for us. And, hopefully we can get a victory in those, man. We've had some good luck wearing those, especially in the play-in tournament. Too bad we won't see that floor again because I really like it. But nevertheless, those uniforms look pretty good on us. So, hopefully look good, feel good, play good. That's what the motto is. And hopefully our Los Angeles Lakers come out and do that very thing, because as of late, we've looked like trash, especially since winning the in-season tournament. I think we've won, 3 games, 3-8 or something like that since the in-season tournament. I mean, well below 500. And, we want to climb back into the 500 range and above. I think at the end of the day, what we have going on is a change in attitude, change in personnel. The Lakers picked up Skylar Mays yesterday in a 2-way contract. That's a young player from the Portland Trail Blazers. Actually, he's about 26 years old. Portland Trail Blazer point guard, somebody that we know has played well against us. And throughout the course of that week, or those several weeks while they were missing point guards, he was really filling in well for their team. So this is somebody I'm excited about for us. And we also picked up another player as well. His name is escaping me now. I hate when that happens. But a guy who had 33 boards for his Knicks in the G League. So we had him inserted into the lineup before the previous matchup against the Clippers. He didn't get any scratch, but we hope to see him tonight. Dylan Winsler, that's who that is, Dylan Winsler. So, yeah, man, new personnel. Hopefully that means some things can kind of settle into form. We got Jalen Hood-Schifino now playing with South Bay. Seems like he had a good show with the South Bay Lakers yesterday. So hopefully he can get more minutes down there and start to develop a bit more on his own, rather than sitting on our bench watching us struggle and then putting him in playing off ball and all types of other stuff that doesn't really help the young fella become who he's going to become in this league. So excited about that. Good news for our team. We're only missing Gabe Vincent tonight, potentially. Everybody else that was on the injury report is a game-time decision. Rui Hachimura should be a game-time decision tonight. D'Angelo Russell, who returned in the last game, he's going to be a game-time decision as well. So hopefully we're as close to healthy as we could possibly be with our circumstances. And, go up against this Toronto Raptor team with a certain level of intensity, given the fact that they have an ex-Laker by the name of Dennis Schroeder on this squad, who's probably going to want to shoot us down. We know how he is. We know how intense he is. He's coming off the bench now. I don't know how he feels about that. He's probably going to want to come in and make us pay for not paying him straight up. And it's a lot of people around here who miss DS and what he brought to the table, his toughness, his experience on both sides of the floor. He would help us, and I'm pretty sure he's going to do the same thing for the Raptors tonight. So we need to be very, very aware of him this evening. But, this Raptor team, I'm not as familiar with it, to be honest with you. I know they got some players down there that I am familiar with. But as far as the fullness of their roster this year, they're one of the teams I've paid the least attention to be honest. But given the fact that they've made this trade, I know that picking up Emmanuel quickly on my fantasy teams has been a big win. And picking up RJ Barrett has been something I've been trying to do as of late as well. They just look better on this team than they did with that Knicks squad. And ultimately, I know that the wins are coming for them. They are just simply a better team after doing that. So now we got to just be aware that they play some defense. Like I said, Dennis Schroeder's going to play some defense. Scotty Barnes plays defense. Gary Trent is a defensive player. So they do have some guys that can hurt you defensively. You're going to have to understand not not only the offensive end is going to be what works for you, but you have to be able to overcome those individual defenders. I don't know how they come together to play good team defense, but I know they can play defense. Boucher plays D. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Siakam is a pretty solid defender as well. So, you just got to be careful with the large range of what this team can do from individual to individual. They got guys who can go for 40 on you tonight. They got guys who can get triple doubles and things like that. So you just don't really know who's going to really feel like taking off against you when playing against the Toronto Raptors, and they have had some success against us. But we know that LeBron James had quite a bit of success in his career against them. In fact, they called Toronto LeBronto for a while because he just kept knocking them out of the playoffs every year. But it's been a long time since that's been the case. I don't think he's had the greatest record against them as a Laker, and hopefully we can rectify that by getting back to the LeBronto type days. But it is what it is. We got to make sure they know they're in our house tonight. It's our building. We're going to come out ready to go. I'm pretty sure they'll have their fans out there, but we need to reestablish who we want to be going forward. Whether Darvin Ham is our coach or not, we cannot find ourselves looking at this situation and saying, well, we're fine because, we've made some moves and now we beat the Clippers and now we're back on track. No, it's going to take effort. It's going to take energy. It's going to take good shooting. It's going to take good habits that we're going to have to try to establish now. If we want to try to make the playoffs, we're going to have to make that push now. We can't wait until the trade is made and then say, okay, now we can turn it on. No, you're outside of the play-in tournament at the moment in 11th place, and you can't afford to drop any more games at all, LA. So that's really what it comes down to. We need to get on a nice little winning streak here, take advantage of this home stand, because when February comes around, we're right back on the road again. So stop dropping these home games, essentially what I'm saying to the LA Lakers. And hopefully we can get a good game out of the guys that are coming back. I know it's rough because we keep having to switch up the lineup because of these injuries. But you got Rui possibly coming back. D'Lo is now back. He contributed in the last game pretty good with a stretch of threes that we really needed to create some space. Hopefully he's able to give us more tonight, a better shooting performance. Taurean Prince has been shooting well. Austin Reeves kind of found his way, though he didn't have the greatest game in the last one, if I remember correctly. But, what really did show up was our defense against the Clippers. I thought our perimeter defense wasn't that great, but every other aspect of our defense was solid. And we're just going to need more from our guys. And so that's really what it comes down to, man. Cam Reddish is going to have a better game. He had 5 turnovers in the previous matchup. I kind of downplayed those turnovers, but they were really glaring to others. So we gotta really kind of reel it in regards to him and shorten up his dribble and all different types of things that help him take care of the basketball in this one. But it's an Anthony Davis night. At the end of the day, if we really want to win this game, we're going to feed Anthony and feed him a lot. We're going to get in the paint and we're going to score on these guys, take advantage of the fact that Jakob is not out there. That's really what it comes down to. This can be a difficult matchup if RJ and Quickly and Trent and Siakam and Barnes are all playing and clicking on all cylinders, but we also have the perimeter defensive players that should be out there making things hard for them to do so. So I like our matchup here, but the question is does the team want to compete, or are they more so interested in the changes that need to be made for them to improve? The only change that I think is most necessary is within our mentality and within our effort and within our, as I always say, practice. We need to practice more. If you want to get better, whether you bring in new guys or keep the old ones, you have got to start working on what your craft is about more so, the LA Lakers. So that's been my point of view. I'm going to stick to that. And looking forward to this matchup, man. Like I said, it's 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Toronto Raptors, man. It could be a close game. I don't really know what to expect from the Lakers, man. If you watch my previous video last night before going to sleep, I was telling you guys that I thought the Lakers in the Grizzlies game was kind of playing lackluster in the fourth quarter, maybe on purpose to try to expedite the process of moving on from the coach, given the fact that it seems that the tea leaves are showing us that they're ready for that to be the case. But like I said, I don't think we have time to be dropping games in the name of anything other than just simply falling short after a very tough effort. You got to win games, man. You don't have the time for that. You're bringing an interim coach, and ain't no guarantee you don't fall with that guy. So it's going to be y'all that's running around, not Darvin Ham. And you got to try to cover up for his mistakes just like you got to cover up for one another. So this ain't the time to be falling apart. This ain't the time to try to expedite people getting out, fired and all kinds of stupid stuff like that. That's not going to be a ready-made success recipe for you. What's going to be a success recipe for the Lakers is playing better, hitting shots, and guarding the perimeter, and implementing the change necessary while Darvin is here to assure that we're a better perimeter defensive team right now. Just like we made changes in regards to our offensive rebounding issues that we started the season with, we need to do the same thing about this perimeter defensive issue we're having right now. Changes need to be made, man. We've been losing games and letting people go off in ridiculous ways. Dante Exum, Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, all these different types of people shooting threes like crazy. None of that should be going on anymore tonight. I don't want to see Quickly go for 6 threes. I don't see Trent go for 9 threes and all that stupid crap tonight. The Lakers need to guard the perimeter, have some pride about themselves in regards to that, and I think it'll go a long way in helping us. So that's really the case, man. When you look at all the Lakers' worst losses of this past stretch, you're going to see ridiculous three-point shooting numbers. That's what you're going to see. The Knicks shot like 22 threes or hit 22 threes or something like that against us. Teams attempting 50 threes and stuff like that. That is where we're really finding trouble. It's the guys who want to shoot the three like crazy and us continuing to leave them open time and time again. So if any emphasis should be made on this basketball game, it should be getting out to those shooters. Quickly, Boucher, Trent, obviously Barrett, even Scotty can shoot those. We need to guard the perimeter. Schroeder, don't let him go off. We've seen Schroeder have good shooting nights. Let's guard the perimeter tonight. And force them to be a team that tries to put the ball on the floor and see if they can overcome the defense on the inside. Guys like Anthony Davis and Christian Wood, who had a fantastic game. We want to see if they can score over these guys' length. And so that's what I think we should do. Force them into the paint, see if they can score there. So yeah, man, Christian Wood was fantastic in the last game. Hopefully that's a start to him getting good minutes, man. We've been really appreciative of what he's been doing since being reinstated out of that doghouse. And in that last game against the Clippers, he really shined on both sides of the floor. His three-point shot has come around quite a bit, and just his overall confidence should be increasing by the second in this situation. So hopefully Darvin has learned to put him on the floor a bit more. He looks great against AD. I mean, with AD and Braun on the floor at the same time, the numbers show us that that's a fantastic trio to have at any given moment. So I think we should lean on it a bit more while these guys are healthy and see if they can lead us to victories, man. It worked against the Clippers. It might work against Toronto. So, yeah, let's play Christian Wood more. We're loving what we're seeing from him. And, of course, we got to mention Max Christie as well, who's really been playing better, man. I've liked what I've seen from Max with the minutes given. He's been dunking on people. He's been putting himself in a position to guard better, rebounds the ball better. More and more he plays, the better he looks. So there should be no reason to put those two players back into the doghouse. It's time for them to get back out there and continue on the path they've been on since being reinstated. So that's really what it is, man. Of course, LeBron James, man. Y'all remember the big dunk from the Clipper game. We're going to see that for years to come. He still got it. He's playing well. He's healthy. We need to take advantage of that and make him look good against Toronto, man. He's going to give us what he gives us. He's not going to have a bad night, I don't imagine. AD and Braun, they always show up. But we need our role players to be there. D'Lo, Austin, Cam Reddish, the ones who are going to be out there, TP, Vanderbilt. We need consistency from these guys. Hopefully Vanderbilt can continue looking to make the passes that he was making against the Clippers, because he had about 4 assists, and I know that that's a part of his game that's kind of hidden. But he can get you some passes off. He can make plays for others and contribute on the offensive end in that way, if nothing else. So that's it, man. Austin Reeves, bounce back, bro. We need that big play from you. We need you to attempt more shots. You got to look to be in a scoring mindset when you play for this team. We just need more points on the board, period. And we know you can finish, especially through contact on the whistle. So continue to look for them three-point plays. Don't be discouraged by getting beat defensively. As long as you make up for it offensively, you're still on track for what we're trying to do. So, yeah, man, that's what we need. We need our X factors to step up. We can't have bad games out of those guys and expect to win any basketball game. D'Lo, Austin, Rui, all those dudes, Cam Reddish, we can't win without them. No matter how well the stars play, if they play poorly, we just don't win. So that's pretty much what I got to say about that, man. This game should be a good one, man. Like I said, Quickly and Barrett beat us last time with the Knicks, so we need to be aware of what they're capable of and put a certain level of intensity against them on both sides of the floor. Get them in foul trouble, guard them properly, hand in the face, all of that. That's so necessary. Transition defense is important against a team like this. They're going to try to push it. They got fast players. They're going to do that. So just look out for all different ways and understand that they're kind of soft in the middle, because Poto ain't out there, and their backup center position is really thin right now. So That's pretty much my thought about the Toronto Raptors, man. They've won 3 out of the last 5 since making this trade, I believe it is. So we need to understand who we're going against and respect them differently than what their record would show us. They're not the same team now that they've done this. So be ready. BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.